Alrighty, good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, May 17th, 2022, and we're going to go ahead and get started here. Let's go jump up and take a look at yesterday. A little bit of a garbage market. I don't really expect much from today either, so if yesterday was anything of an omen for today, probably going to be pretty light. But let's just take a look here. Um, don't think we had any expectations for direction, but the market did open and basically couldn't hold above the VWAP and started selling off from there. So at that point, I was looking for shorts. Um, First opportunity didn't really go very far. It's right off the fast moving average at 85. It went down to about 79.5. So there's a little bit of 5 point scalp off the FMA that we called there. Try to short right off the 200 moving average, which went just about 4, maybe 5 points if you caught it at the right spot, and then came right back, right bounced right off the fast moving average, and then finally came right up to the orange power level, our textbook trade right off the orange power level there, and caught that, got short, and it ended up going just about 19 points from 39.99 here all the way down. I did not catch my final. I was stringing this out because we wanted to go down to 75 yesterday. We never got there. It got to about 39.80 and then turned around. I did add to my position, but once it came back up to the 200 here, closed it all out, right? So did not get this, did not get my added position down to 75. I had to close it, and that was it. That was the only trade that really gave us a nice appreciable push. And then from there, it just kind of petered back and forth all morning. So again, we talked about this yesterday. I'm going to bring up my 60-minute chart here. For the last 5 days, all we've done is come down and chop up and down in this shaded area you see on the chart between just about 39.80 and 40.50 here. And so back and forth all the way back May 10th, May 11th, May 12th, the market ducked below that range and then came right back up for the morning of May 13th. And then you can see coming into this week here, yesterday, chopping back and forth right around here. It turns out the weekly point of control for any of those market profile, volume profile people is sitting right here. Let me look at my other computer. Somewhere right about after yesterday and the overnight session, somewhere about 40.15, 40.14. So right in the middle of all this shaded garbage here. So not really, I told you yesterday, not really a great spot to be trading. And sure enough, all the market did was just kind of go back and forth there. So let's get into this morning. I'll scroll forward really quickly here just to see what happened here at the end of the day on yesterday. Again, just kind of sideways. We did attempt to break out and then came right up to the highs of the overnight session, failed back down right into the middle of the week of that daily range. And now it looks like in our overnight session, the bulls are attempting to come up and break out. Now we just came up and pushed into that major retracement level at 40.78 here. That is 50% of that whole sell-off from 43.03. So we've got that going. And let's go to our higher time frame chart here to take a look at what we're dealing with for the morning. I'll go to the daily really quickly here. And again, you can see that 50% retrace level is what we're just about pushing into. And if you look just a little bit further from the highs we're making right now, we do have that important swing low that we've been watching for a few days now, and that's sitting there at 40.99 quarter. It turns out that the high of last week was 40.99. So getting up through that dotted line on the chart is going to be a clue for a potential breakout through the previous weekly highs. If we go back to the weekly chart here, you can see this, like I said, what looks to be a potential reversal bar here on the weekly. That high is 40.99. So let's go back here. Outside of that, not much else to really mention here. If you look at the whole sell-off all the way from 46.30 all the way down. We do have a much larger retracement that we're watching, and the first retracement level won't be until we get all the way up to about 41.51 here. So I've got that on my higher time frame chart. I'll not going to note it really outside of there, but we do have the 61.8 of the smaller leg here, 43.03, all the way down to 38.55 here. The 61.8 is sitting here at 41.32.75. So those are the higher time frame levels I wanted to mention. Let's go ahead and jump on down into the 60-minute here and take a look at all the levels for this morning. So I'll zoom it in here so hopefully you can see everything clearer. And there you go again, our minor eye level and the 50% retrace is right where the overnight session pushed into and failed from. And interestingly enough, we pulled back and bounced in the overnight session here, right off of this swing level that we've been watching for a while that seems to have been very, very relevant. So just came off of that with a bullish divergence on the 60-minute chart here. So looks like we're going to attempt to bounce right back up to test this overnight high right here. That doesn't have to happen, but that's what it looks like it's doing. So let's see here. We've got our orange power level up above the high of yesterday, and the high of yesterday here, 40.43.50 and 40.50 quarter. Obviously, you guys know holding above that is a good clue that we could expect an attempt to push higher. Getting down below there is going to open us up down into 40.23, 50% of the day before, and then we have the close of the day before down here at 4,000, and then the low of yesterday down at 39.79.50. Remember that all of the price action from yesterday, everything between the high and the low of yesterday is right in there, right where we've been chopping around for over a week now. So it's going to be messy in there, and there's just a whole crap load of stuff right inside that little range there, right? If you zoom out, the majority of all the lines are sitting right here from 39.97, or from the previous daily low. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 levels all sitting right in that tight pocket right there. It just is what it is, right? So each one can very well be relevant for potential bounces to the tick, but the orientation is the most important thing. Understanding that if we get below these levels, it's opening us up for a larger pullback here. And then counter to that, if we end up holding above them and we can get through that overnight high, then we'll be coming up into, remember the major swing low I told you at 40.99, which was also the high of last week, at least if you look at the extended trading hours. And then we're up to the minor eye level at 41.08. The next 61.8 retracement I told you at 41.32. And then we're up to the major eye level at 41.42. I don't know if it makes sense to keep going to the higher end here. I don't really expect a major breakout to the upside, but anything's possible. So just beware. We do have 41.82 and 41.89 here right before we get to the next major eye level at 4,200. And then from there, it's all the same stuff, guys. I've been mentioning this every morning. 42.13 is the minor level. And then we've got our pocket 42.40 to 43, 42.56 to 61, and then 42.84, 43.06, and then the major eye level somewhere right around this 43.24.50. On the flip side of things, down below the range of this week so far, or from the lows of last week to the highs of this week, if it breaks, I've already mentioned all these levels below. So I just don't feel like it's necessary to sit here and list them out. We've mentioned them now for 2 or 3 weeks. So we've got all those levels down below. And then once again, everything in this current range, let's see if I can bring this back so everyone can see it clearer. Within yesterday's range, it's just a total mess, and there's a lot of levels that make sense. So your guess is as good as mine as to which levels are going to hold. And if we do get through the low of yesterday, pulling back here, I did put the retracement up for this whole leg up. The 38 retracement is again right in here within all this garbage, right around 39.97, right around the close of yesterday. And then if there's the previous daily low, once the previous daily low breaks, 50% of the whole push up is sitting here at 39.69, 39.69 half. And then the major swing that we've been watching, we talked about yesterday, is still sitting there untouched. Let me get the actual number to the tick here. 39.61.75 is the actual swing high there. So the 50% retrace at 69, that swing there at 61. And then we've got the 61.8 retracement of this whole push up sitting right between our major eye level at 39.45 and our minor eye level at 39.40. So that little pocket there to me looks like it would make sense to get a response if there's going to be one. And then obviously we do have 39.50 sitting just a few above there. And then a little bit deeper, if that little pocket there does not hold, we're probably going to come right into this next major swing sitting at 39.30, which we've been watching, I think, for not only yesterday but on Friday as well. So that's sitting right there, and then it's right down into the major eye level at 14.50. 14.50 breaks, we've got 38.90, and then the low of last week was 38.55. From there, 38.55, we've got all the levels, like I said, down below that we've already covered for weeks now. So that's what we're looking at here. Let me see if there's anything else, any other pieces of data I can add to the picture here. Do you think it's interesting? We're right here off a major structure level and off the retracement level here, and we are finding a little bit of trouble here, but I don't necessarily have super strong signals from that high. So at a critical point right now at that level. And the one thing I'm noticing is I do have a very clear bullish divergence from this pullback that we got in the overnight session over here at the low of 40.55 quarter. So the hourly has it. I don't see it on other time frames at the higher end, but let's go take a look down at the 30-minute and the 10-minute, and sure enough, the 30-minute has a nice bullish divergence from that low. Again, this low on the pullback here in this overnight session, and the 10-minute does as well. So we do have a pretty good bullish confluence off of this low that we just made about an hour ago. So what does that mean? Well, first of all, we've already pushed from 40.55 to almost to 40.75 for just under a 20-point bounce. So that might be all that signal yields. But just keep in mind, if this level holds here around 40.55, and again, it could be a situation where it comes down and peaks just below it and then bounces out. If that area holds right there, that is telling me we're probably going to be pushing to test the overnight high and push to higher highs. Again, what happens when we get to the overnight high? Nobody knows. We could come up, get a peak above and fail. We could get a nice, beautiful double top. So, the scenarios are infinite. But that's what I would expect if we could hold from here. And obviously, if this ends up breaking, then that's opening us up to these deeper retracement levels and relevant levels. So I think that about covers it for this morning. And we'll go ahead and get ready for the open here. We do have about 6 minutes. So for those watching out on YouTube, have a great morning, and we will see y'all tomorrow. There's one thing I forgot to mention, and that is we have Powell speaking today. So if yesterday was not a snooze fest, today very well could be, and that's kind of a joke. So yesterday was pretty lackluster. Today we actually have Powell speaking at the end of the day. We have business inventories and housing market index news coming out at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. So just want to be aware when we get to that time, there could be a little jump in volatility on the order book there. So just be careful. And with that being said, have a great day.